So hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to see numbers or number literals or numeric literals in Python. Before that, let's see some things about Python. So I'm opening my browser and search for Python docs. You will be redirected to this website docs.python.org. So just hit on enter and you can see the documentation for Python for every version is available here. So just hit on tutorials and for the latest version that is 3.11.4, this all are the documentation. You can go and watch all the documentation you can read if you stuck anywhere. So this is the main source from where every courses or everything originates for Python. So you can click on anything. If I click on if statements, you can see everything about if statement is here. You can read this document if you stuck anywhere in your programming career or in your course. So let's start our course. So I'm going to open my folder for Python and let's open our editor. So for that I am going to open my command prompt here. For that, go in the URL and type for cmd and hit enter. So you can see command prompt is open in this specific folder. So I'm going to increase the font for command prompt and type a command code space dot, and it will open our Visual Studio Code here. Okay, so I will close all this. Before all of this, I want to show you something. You can run Python in anywhere. So if I search for Python in my search panel of Windows 11, you can see idle for Python. So what's the idle? You can imagine it as a Python interface or some kind of Python console where you can run basic Python commands. Like if I run 15 into 5 and hit enter, you can see 75 is printed here. You can see everything in Python you can do here for the test purpose. So this is idle. Here you can create your code, but obviously no one is doing that way. So I'm going to click it and close it. The second way is you can create your Python files. So I'm going to create a file here. So let's name the Python file as main.py. You can see Python file is created. I'm going to increase the font and let's create our first Python program, and that is print hello world. So you can see this is our first Python program, print hello world, right? So how you can run this Python program? So this is again a question. So I am going to save my Python program with Control S, and you can see here this is the button, and as soon as you click on this button, it will open the terminal and you can see hello world is printed here. The next way of running a Python program is you can give the command in whatever terminal you are using. For Windows, it may be command prompt or PowerShell, and for Linux and Mac OS, it may be Bash or any other terminal. So I am going to specify Python and then name of the file. And my file name is main.py. So I am typing this command and hit enter. So your Python code is run, right? But for sake of our convenience, documentation, and for creating the notes, I am going to create this Python as notebooks. So what are the notebooks? So I am going to use Jupyter notebooks, and I have already explained how you can set up Jupyter notebook environment in Visual Studio Code in my previous lectures. So you can watch those lecture in that way. So I will add the link in the description and in the I button as well for those videos. So let's first create a folder. So our first chapter is basic Python programming, basic. basic Python programming. Okay, and in this folder I am going to create a new file, and now this file is python numbers.ipynb, and this is our first lecture, right? So my Python file is created, my notebook file is created successfully. You can see here, this is our notebook file. Here you can create code cell, markdown cell, you can run all the cells, and this is your cell. So let's run our first Python program here, and our first Python program is obviously hello world. Hello world. And how you can run this hello world program? Either you can hit on this button, it will run, either you go in your code cell and press shift and enter. So it will run this hello world, and you can see hello world is printed here, right? In this way you can run the cells in Jupyter notebook, and new cells are created below it. So our main topic is, what we are going to learn is numbers. So there are the two types of numbers in Jupyter notebook, and the numbers are, first is integers. And what kind of integers are, you can imagine it is as one, or the whole number, 1 0, or you can imagine any kind of like -3. Those are all integer. Second thing is floats. So what are the floats? Floats are the fractional numbers. You can think it as like 2.5 or -2.56. This is also a float number. Or you can imagine as some expressions such as 3 to the power 3. It's also a kind of expression. It will return 3 into 10 to the power 3, that is 3000. So these are the basic types of numbers, floats and integers. So I'm not going to the details of floats and integer and how they are represented in binaries. So you can go in Python documentation and read more about how these numbers are represented in binaries. Okay. So this is the markdown cell. Okay, this is the code cell, and I want convert this cell as a markdown cell. So you can go here and you can see change the cell as markdown. So this is the markdown cell. Integer are this, and floats are this. Also, some basic tips about markdown. If you want all these things in different line, you can use the asterisk sign in front of it and just hit enter. You can see and they are all presented on the different lines. Okay, so our next thing is we want code cell. So let's see the number, like 1 is our integer, -5 is also our integer. You can see here it's -5. And how we can check it's integer or not? So for that there is a function in Python, and that is type. Just open type and open parenthesis, and in the parenthesis pass your number. If I pass 6 and run it, so you can see it prints int. So this is the integer. So what's about float? So let's imagine 2.6. It prints 2.6. And what's the type of 2.6? Type of 2.6. You can see it's float. Then these are the integer and float. One more thing I want to show is how we can represent, such as that e symbol, right? Or exponent symbol. If I write 3e2 and hit enter, you can see it's 300. That's nothing but 3 into 10 to the power 2. If I do it with small e, it's also the same. So small e and capital E are both used for exponents in Python. So these are the numbers or numeric literals in Python. We can do various kinds of operation with the numbers in Python. So if I want to add like 12 plus 13, so just add 12 plus 13, and you can see it will give us the return of 25. If I want to subtract 56 minus 45. You can see it shows 11. If I want to multiply 45 into 45 or 45 square, it will return this 2025. Apart from this, we can perform divisions as well. If I do 10 divided by 3 and hit enter, you can see it's 3.333333 and it's returning float. But what if I want just integer or the floor value for it? So here the thing comes is double slashes, double slash operator, or you can say it floor division operator. What is the floor division operator? So if I do 10 divided by 3 and hit enter, so you can see it shows only 3, but in above normal division it is 3.3333. So it will truncate all the values after the decimal and it will just return the floor integer of the division. So this is also the operation in or numeric operation in Python. Python is a very awesome language. So here you don't, if you want some squares, so you don't need to do like 2 into 2 or 3 into 3. You can just use 3 double asterisk and 2. So it will represent 3 to the power 2. If I run it, you can see it's 9. If I change it 3 to the power 3, you can see it's 27. And this double asterisk sign is nothing but exponent operator. Or with the help of it, you can raise any number to any power. You can do square roots as well. If I do 25 double asterisk 0.5, you can see it shows 5.0. So you can use it in this way as well for finding the square roots or nth roots of any number. So these are the basic things about the numbers in Python or numeric literals in Python. If you find our content helpful, then don't forget to follow, like, share and subscribe. And we will meet you in the next lecture. Till then, happy coding!